Yo, 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 yo. What is up, everybody? How we doing? How are we doing? Give me 1 second as we get started here. How we doing? How are we doing? Got some good updates for y'all today. Nick may also be joining us as well, which is nice. So that will be fun. So we were heads down yesterday. If you guys didn't see the live from yesterday, a lot of it was just hang on. A lot of it was just we had some issues and some bugs, and we needed to adjust them and fix them and get them all dialed in. Um, but now we're all dialed in, and I want to show you guys some of those updates today as well. Just bear with me. I got okay. So yeah, we got a got some updates for you guys. I'm gonna jump right into it. Um, Hold up. There we go. Gonna jump right into it and show you guys exactly what we've adjusted. Oh, okay, so let's find a video here. Let's do a testing one. Here we go. We'll do this one. I've been wanting to do this one for a little bit, but we haven't been able to get it to fully go through yet. So let's get this one started. All right. Let's see. So we had issues with the essentially with exporting, and we had a weird bug where the captions would be tracking. Um, the caption would be tracking, but they had these little bubbles, and they get stuck and locked in these bubbles. And the problem is the code was all fine, right? Technically, but the issue is that the issue was like the code is fine, but we could visually see it getting stuck in these boxes, which would make it stutter. Um, but we figured that out. I'll show you guys kind of that as well. Okay. We'll just wait for this to extract, and we will be good. Some messages here. Hold up. Perfect. Already done. Let's get these clips going. 60 seconds. TikTok viral. Go. Viral hooks. We'll wait for that to go. All right. Let's see here. Generate these clips. Boom. Get these all golden. All right. Clippy loading. Boom shakalaka. All right. So yeah, y'all, we've been there we go. We've been heads down. We literally were up super late trying to get everything dialed in. 37 clips, dang. So we'll see how this goes now. All right. Look at me typing away and I have my clips going. All right. Okay, let's check out some of these clips. Here we go. Physics doesn't care about your feelings. That's such an Elon thing. If you guys don't know what this video is, I did a bad job kind of introducing this. But this is David Senra. Right, Senra? I don't know. But this is the author, Eric Jorgensen. He wrote the book of Elon. I'm reading this, and it is a great book. But we'll get some clips for that as well.
From the history of entrepreneurship is that excellence is the capacity to take pain. Elon has a great way of saying this. He says, my way of dealing with mental problems is to make sure you really care about what you're doing and take the pain.
Yeah. I think it's so funny that the most productive person on earth does zero of the like meditation, journaling, morning routine. Like he wakes up and picks up his phone and goes to war like every day. Like that's his routine.
Goes to war.
Yeah.
In this book, we have Isaacson's biography of Elon, which you and I both have read and reread. I've done an episode on that book as well.
But as you can see here, we got these remotion captions going.
Is that excellence is the capacity to take pain. Elon has a great way.
Let's go export clip here. Whoops, no.
is the capacity to take pain. Elon has a great way of saying this. He says, my way of dealing with mental problems is to make sure you really care about what you're doing and take the pain.
Yeah. I think it's so funny that the most productive person on earth does zero of the like meditation, journaling, morning
All right.
routine. Like he wakes
Look
up.
at
and
that.
picks
We're
up his
10
phone and
minutes
goes
in.
to
We already
work,
got a
like,
clip.
every day. Like that's
Come
just
on
insane.
now.
It goes to
Come on.
In this book, we have Isaacson.
I'm so stoked. That's our look at, you guys can see our
read and
remotion.
reread. I've done.
This is all of our remotion that we have integrated with the caption styles now. So it's a big lift, but it's starting to come together. Starting to come together. That's all I can say. All I can say. I'm very excited. As you guys can tell, I'll wait for this to download and then we'll see. All right. So another clip finished there. We have this one exporting. Let's check it out. Very excited. Here we go. All right. Oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
From the history of entrepreneurship is that excellence is the capacity to take pain.
Okay, so
Elon has a great way
like
of saying this.
He
says, my way of dealing with
good.
mental problems is to make sure you really care about what you're doing. And
all right, well, hang on. I want to show you guys this because this is good to see. Let me see here. What is this? Ah. Okay. So we have the clip exported, but I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm seeing. And I'm curious to see if Nick pops in here, what his take is on this. Let me remove this. Whoops. Stop screen, share screen, window. So we have it's here, right? But you can see we have these like duplicate captions going on, which is pretty funny. But you guys can see that's our remotion captions. So we a couple more tweaks and we'll be good. But there's our clip. So I'll reach out to Nick and show him this. Take a little screenshot of this actually. There it is. All right, let me move that. Okay, sweet. Gonna send this over to him. All right. So let me remove this and share my screen again. Boom. All right, we're back. Back in business, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so there's one clip that we have populated and generated. Let me go on X and make sure that there's no one in the chat. Totally forgot. Totally spaced it. Okay. Whoops, that's where I wanted. Let's get a little repost going. If you guys are watching on X, throw a little repost. Why not? Let's get eyes on this. We're chipping away. We got remotion in. We're just dialing in a little bit of the tweaks now. Sorry. All right. Yeah, we're back on track. I mean, not that we're off track, but but it's just the fact that, you know, we got Remotion dialed in now. We're getting it dialed in. We just got to make final little tweaks there. You guys saw we just had duplicate captions there, but I'd rather have duplicate captions than no captions, which is nice. So yeah, dialing it in, ladies and gentlemen. Very excited. Very, very excited. Like I said, me and Nick were up late trying to figure this out, and I can tell you guys exactly what was happening. And it was like a logic thing. It's like everything we had was right. Everything we had in that was right. But as you guys know, in the advanced editor, which I'll show you guys here in a second, but I'll look at some more of these. Let's look at this one.
And so Elon is like the modern manufacturing example of that. He lived on the line. He goes to the problems. He has a really deep understanding of not just the product, but like the physics behind the product. There's so many stories of him having this deep intuition for what the materials in a thing can do, where the threshold is, and pushing engineers and designs over and over and over to get to that failure point and find what the true, like, most elegant, most simple, most efficient version of the product could be.
Sick. All right, so we have that one in there. This is a good quote. I remember this from the book.
Some examples of that. Can you give us some examples of that?
One is the thickness of the stainless steel welds on Starship, right? And so the design engineers gave one number, and then he went and talked to like the guys actually doing the welding, and they were kind of like, we think maybe like 4.5 millimeters would be like getting to sketchy. And he's like, let's try 4 millimeters. And 4 millimeters worked. Even the move to stainless steel, like most rockets previously had been made with carbon fiber. It's just really hard to work with, and it's big. And he had this intuition and knew that stainless steel.
Okay. Next.
Profiled him in the book about fear. He says, feel the fear, do it anyways. Look fear straight in the eye and it will disappear. The nature of fear is that people don't look at it. Look at it directly and it will be gone. These are direct quotes from Elon. When something's important enough and you believe in it enough, you do it in spite of fear. It is normal to feel fear. If you don't feel fear, you definitely have something mentally wrong. Just feel it and let the importance of your mission drive you to do it anyway.
Dang.
I think the purpose-driven nature of these businesses is
All right, so let's go here. Now that we have this, let's go into advanced. All right, so I'm gonna break down what was happening here. So you see these little boxes right here that we have for the transcript? You guys know, right? Like if you guys know that you can edit with that, right? You can edit with that. Hold up, you can I know you guys are hearing me twice, I apologize. You guys can edit within these boxes, right? So you know you can click to extend, but you see how there's like it's an actual box. Like you can visually see that these words are inside of a box, right? So even here, like if I hover over it, there's like a little box. So what was happening and why we were getting some crazy stutters was literally the words would just get stuck in these boxes, right? So it would track the words, it gets stuck in here, and then it would jump and it would try and track it here. So all of these words were getting stuck and they were fighting with each other and the playhead, and that's where we're getting some of those stutters. And the code was right, like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing, but the issue was just the logic around it. So we dialed that in to so we could get that to stop stuttering. It was a big aha moment that we were like, dude, what if this is the issue? Okay, let's see this. We got a couple clips in here.
And essentially persevere through pain.
Oh, he's got some absolutely killer lines about this. Like I don't ever give up. I'd have to be dead or completely incapacitated.
So
the one you just read about, like, my way of dealing with mental problems is to just care about what I'm doing and take the pain. Come hell or high water, we're going to get this done. Like there's so much unlocked when you have a mission that you know you would never give up on. Like so few entrepreneurs I think would make the bets that Elon has made because they're not
So a little bit, so you can see there, you're watching it skip. Like it'll go, and then it'll track a word, and then it'll have to skip. So we're still dialing in. The logic in the quick clips is definitely better. In the advanced editor, still has some of that chokehold on it. So we're just dialing that in. But it's when you export it, it's not going to skip.
And as an immigrant to Canada at 17, paid his way through college, graduated with student debt, dropped out of Stanford graduate school to start his first company in the early internet boom, and like basically made, I forget the exact first number,
22 million.
22 million.
He says a great line. He says a great line in the book because they sold for $307 million in cash to Compact Computer.
Yep.
And he goes, my bank account went from $5,000 to $20 to $22 million and $5,000.
Yeah, so which is just like he's like standing in the mailbox holding this check, being like, wow. And yeah, that like
Crazy. This dude went from $5,000. Dude, I literally hit a button. I misclicked. That's my bad. Well, back to what I was saying. That's funny. I misclicked there, and it kicked me completely out of my own studio. So, whoops. That's crazy. Going from 5,000, and then one day you're at 22 million. I bet you that's a cool memory. Elon just sitting there. All right. So get some more of these. Get some more clips going. I haven't interacted with Clippy in a while. So let's see. Let's see what Clippy will do for me. What is this one called? Oh.
Some examples of that.
one is the thickness of the stainless steel welds. Easy thing to forget. And so people over and over again to like use things that are cheaper, use things that are easier to work with, reduce the moving parts.
Let's see.
My summary of Elon is David Goggins level like intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance.
Okay, I have an idea.
And he's Napoleon's strategic genius and insane bias to action. Those three traits combined
Okay,
make him
I'm gonna start the clip
incredible.
there. Okay, hang on. We're gonna go my summary of Elon. Okay, materials like you kind of make the calls that he's making, or you kind of be pushing on them. He's not always right. Of course, engineers are the ones doing the highest amount of work, but like you say, founder of the Guardian. All right, and then we're gonna go to 21:32. All right, Clippy, your first task of the day. I need a clip called "How I Describe Elon." Start it at 20:44 and end it at 21:32. What is this video called? David. Whoops. Problem is, I think I have a lot of his stuff in here. Oh, dude, I have so many in here. Hold up, I'm gonna open a new tab real quick. Go to my library and delete this one. This is the most recent one. Okay, that should only be one now. Hope it's this one. Hope it's this one. Oh, not that one. Whoops. I knew I had a bunch in here. David Maybe, how long is this video? Does it show how long this one is? Yikes. I have how many in here? God, it's not that one. Maybe this one? Nope. This one. Aha, found it. All right, here we go. Here we go. We've seen Clipit to perform his normal task. So if you guys don't know, there's a lot of stuff around clipping and automating clipping and OpenClaw can clip, or Hermes what Claude Code can clip. But I want you guys to understand, there's not that that I have seen. There's none other platform that has the agentic abilities like a Claw, like a OpenClaw, that is built into the platform. Now, the reason why this is important is because a lot of people aren't going to want, I'm just being honest, people that are not technical are going to have a hard time trying to set up something like that, right? But if you're producing the agent, right, within the clipping site that already has all the tools and the access, and you don't have to download it and you can just use it and it does the same things, that's where it gets crazy. That's what Clippy is. Just so you guys gotta understand that. That's how important this thing kind of is. Just putting it out there. All right. Right to right or right. So now we'll wait for this clip to generate. We're gonna run the pump chat. Can't believe I just like misclicked and ended the whole stream for a second, or I end it, but yeah. Okay. So now we wait. Let's see what Clippy can do for us. All right. All right. All right, your clip is created in processing. Okay, let's see if I can find it.
My summary of Elon is David Goggins level like intensity.
We did it.
Richard Feynman's level
we did
of
it.
Unconventional technical brilliance.
We did it.
And he's Napoleon's strategic genius and insane bias to action.
We're posting
Those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular. And the volume of time that he puts in, like even if you put in this amount of time to try to know your business from A to Z, as without that deep technical intuition or sense of the fundamentals of the physics and the materials, like you couldn't make the calls that he's making or you couldn't push on the things that he's pushing on. And of course, he's not always right. And of course, the engineers are always the ones like doing the highest volume of the real work. But as you say, like the founder is the guardian of the company's soul.
Dude, fire clip. Fire clip. We need to dial this in a little bit too. What is it? I want to, yeah, here we go. Exporting the clip. I like that one. That was a good one. That was custom made by yours only. Making my own clips using my open claw. Just kidding. It's Clippy. Clippy's better at open claw. Prove me wrong. Oh, just kidding. Clippy is just very specialized at what Clippy does, which is a media wing, right? Clippy is your whole media wing. So that's what it can do for you. Yeah. All right, we'll get this to download. We'll see if this, maybe it doesn't have duplicate because it's 16x9. I don't know. We'll see. I think it's because of this thing too.
Theme that Elon talks about all the time. And so he says this.
Whoa, that one's still tracking wrong. But I'm also going to show you guys this because I maxed out my maxed out my credits here, but you guys can see that here. This is exactly what I've built this out a little more. Let me move myself so you guys can see better. Cool. I built out what our platform in the future is going to look like, how the editing page is going to look like, how you'll be able to upload videos, all of that. So here's your dashboard. So now your workspace is right in here. This will be upload/extract. So you can do that here. Clippies right here on the side, recent projects, new project here. You can check your notifications, library. So this is where you see all your parent videos rather than kind of what we have now, which is just a giant list. They'll be kind of formatted better there. Clip is done. Analytics. So we're gonna, our goal is to upload publishing into the platform where you can, ask Clippy to publish for you. You can publish it yourself in the platform. So those are that's our next really big lift we're going to do as well down the line. Part of the roadmap is getting that stuff out and getting that stuff dialed in. So analytics, right? Be able to publish here. Here's another thing. This is what I'm talking about. We want to be able to add in publishing to this as well. So that's another big lift we're going to do where you guys will be able to publish directly into the site, directly from the site to your socials. And I want to make it as easy as possible for you guys. So you guys literally can just grab this, drag it in here, pick your accounts, right? Change the title, change the caption, change the time. You could, just delete it, change the time you want it, schedule post. You can also then as well click in here and see it kind of like that Google Calendar type of thing. You can see the platforms there that it's going to be published on. You can also, drag it over here. It's going to ask if you want to reschedule there, confirm the change, right? So that's another big thing that we're working towards is getting the scheduling in there. You'll also be able to ask Clippy to schedule it for you as well. So that's why we have Clippy down here. But I'll kind of show you guys the flow here again of what we're working for, what we're working towards. So same exact thing. This is like you might be seeing this as a quick clip path right now, right? Viral, 16 aspect ratios, right? Duration, generate clips. Same exact thing, just better UI. Whoops. You can see here, Clippy still on the side of recent projects. Then from here, you'll see you have Clippy over here giving you an analysis of what you've built. You can see your original video here, right? So this is the parent video. This is the prompt you used. These are your clips. So then in here, this is my favorite part, and I spent a lot of time on this, trying to dial this in for you guys. And we'll have a big UI overhaul later down the road. But we'll just probably do it in phases as well as kind of just getting this stuff in. But this is your editor, right? So it's going to kind of redo this. But yeah, just want to give you guys kind of an update there on how you guys might, wait for the future to come. But let's look at that clip it made. I don't know why it does a flashbang every time I open the clip.
My summary of Elon is David Goggins level intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level.
So this is good to know. I'm going to share this with you guys. Actually, what I'm going to do there. So this is, I'm going to show you guys. I'll just show you guys this right now. I'm going to remove it. So this is what I thought might happen. So we just got to dial in the logic around this. But as you guys remember, I made this clip it was originally 16 by 9. And then I formatted it back to, actually, I like that view way better. Hold up. How did I do that? Like this. No, I didn't. Oh, yeah, I guess that's fine. Where's this one? That's better, right? No, this one. Oh, sorry, picky. But formatted this one to from 9 by 16 to 16 by 9. And I thought it might have done it correctly because the preview looked okay. But we should need to dial this in. But this is the clip. The nice thing is there's no duplicate captions.
Like unconventional technical brilliance.
But you can see I cut off because I switched it mid preview. So that's something we'll have to dial in around the around switching it. So just know that one of the things that kind of happens right now is once you are in. So for instance, this is formatted in 16 by 9. All these clips. Clipit put in 16 by 9. I'm sure I can ask it to make it 6. Actually, so let's try it. How I describe Elon. Can you change this clip? Whoops. Can you? I'm gonna say reclip. Can you reclip this, but have it in a 16 by 9 ratio? Okay, we'll see if we can do that. But preview and export. Let's go back to 16 by 9 now. All right, we'll export it. So I'll get a 16 by 9 going. Whoa. Oh, it's reprocessing that clip. That's why. Okay. Well, let's see what it does here. Curious. No way. It was that quick? No way. Dude. So Clippy could just do that for me. I don't have to redo the whole... Dude, hang on. Hold up. I got to see this. It looks like it's still generating. It looks like it's still generating. Yeah, okay, still processing. It said done in the chat, but I didn't believe it. I was like, it's still loading. Dude, if you just fix it first try, that's so sick. It's so sick. It's still processing. Do. Okay,
a summary of Elon.
Let's see, preview and export. Okay, if this exports if this does what I think it's gonna do, I'm gonna be so happy. All right. All right. Dude, I'm stoked. If this just did what I think it did. So I put it in 16 by 9 by 16. I tried to manually do it 16 by 9 in this window that you're seeing here. It cut off the top and the bottom, so it like stretched it, but I couldn't see his face. So then I asked Clippy to regenerate that whole clip in 16 by 9 so that I don't have to like try and mess with it myself. And now it says it's done and it's re-exporting. And if this gets it right, where it's the right aspect ratio on the first try and Clippy just like did it all for me, that's the future, baby. It's the future of clipping right here. Oh, I'm stoked, dude. I'm excited to see this. Oh, yeah, dude, I'm stoked. Come on. Can't wait any longer. I don't know what you guys are doing. Share this with somebody that needs to know that we have Remotion into the platform. Remotion captions are within Clipit. They have been added in. All right, I'm checking this now. Dude, why does it do that? Okay, that's funny though. It just flashbanged me.
My summary.
Oh, look at this. Hang on. I know I just gave it away, but so you guys saw the first version of the clip where it was cut off, right? Well, Clippy fixed it. I didn't have to do anything. Clippy fixed it.
Elon is David Goggins level like intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance.
Come on.
And he's Napoleon's
dude.
strategic genius and
Clip
insane bias to action.
Clippy,
those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular.
Dude.
And the volume of time that he puts in,
boys.
Like even if you put in this amount of time started to know your business from A to Z, as without that deep technical intuition or
post this right now,
sense of the fundamentals of the physics and the materials, like you couldn't make the calls that he's making, or you couldn't push on the things that he's pushing on. And of course, he's not always right. And of course, the engineers are always the ones like doing the highest volume of the real work. But as you say, like the founder is the guardian of the company's soul.
Dude. Where is it? There it is. Founders Podcast. This is it, right? Yeah. Does he have it in here? I want to get his ads correctly. Nope. DoorDash. It's in my bookmarks. What am I doing, right? Okay. So, dude, I'm so stoked. Can I get a caption for at how can describe Elon? We need to add. Oh, you guys can't see it. Duh. All right. Well, hold up. Share screen, entire screen. All right. Okay. So now I'm asking, can we get a caption for how to describe Elon? We need to add the tags of the people involved. And then I'm going to grab their actual tags. This is the author. The guy who wrote the book. Whoops. I'm just so it knows. It should know, but just to be safe. And then David Serena is this. At David Serena. I'm going to do this just so it knows. And Elon is just Elon Musk, right? Yeah, Elon Musk. This will be posted on X. All right. So hear me out. I'm just going to paint a picture for you guys right now. I'm going to paint a picture. Imagine you're David Serena right now, right? And you just shot that podcast. And, you know, the podcast has how many views? 3.2 million views, right? So the podcast has 3.2 million views. Now, pair that with 37 clips that I have made in under an hour. Pair that with caption. Look at this. It's planning everything. Now, hear me out. Now plan that with being able to publish within our platform and asking the agent to publish on their platform. You're destroying the media game. Like, come on. You're telling me you're not going to destroy the media game if you do all of that. Whatever. Let's see. Here we go. I think we'll do this one. It says my pick is option 3. Elon Musk is David Goggins plus Richard Feynman plus Napoleon. One person, 3 legendary traits. The founder. I think I like this one the best though. Yeah, dude, and that's it. We're putting this bad boy up. putting that bad boy up. Make sure this is the right one.
My summary of Elon is,
so the one thing, Nick, that we need to add back in is the watermark. That is not there. All right. That's the only thing that I'm seeing there.
He's David Goggins level like intensity.
Oh.
He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance. And he's Napoleon's strategic genius and insane bias to action. Those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular. And the volume of time that he puts in, like, even if you put in this amount of time to try to know your business from A to Z, as without that deep technical intuition or sense of the fundamentals of the physics and the materials, like you couldn't make the calls that he's making.
This is so sick.
Or you couldn't push on the things that he's pushing on. And of course, he's not always right. And of course, the engineers are always the ones like doing the highest volume of the real work. But as you say, like the founder is the guardian of the company's soul.
Okay, he does say that. I was making sure. I know he said that, but just double checking, man. How many characters is that? Oh, I think we're good. That's not his name, is it? Oh, DAVID. DAVID. What is it? SENRA. SENRA. Dude, we're back in black, babies. Let's do it. Woo! Stoked. We got remotion in. Clippy's changing aspect ratios for me all by myself. I don't have. Why would I need the cropping feature when Clippy's just doing it for me? Come on. You can ask it to do those things. And we just saw it. All right. All right. Dude, I'm so stoked. That's posted. Clipped using Clipit.dev. In free beta now. All right. Let's go. Look at this.
Intensity. My summary of Elon is David Goggins level like intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance. And he's Napoleon's strategic genius and insane bias to action. Those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular. And the volume of time that he puts in, like even if you put in this amount of time to try to know your business from A to Z, as without that deep technical intuition or sense of the fundamentals of the physics and the materials, like you couldn't make the calls that he's making, or you couldn't push on the things that he's pushing on. And of course, he's not always right. And of course, the engineers are always the ones like doing the highest volume of the real work. But as you say, like the founder is the guardian of the company's soul. My summary of Elon is David Goggins level like intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance. And he's Napoleon's strategic genius and insane bias to action. Those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular. And the volume of time that he puts in, like even if you put in this amount of time started to know your business from A to Z, as without that deep technical intuition or sense of the fundamentals of the physics and the materials, like you couldn't make the calls that he's making, or you couldn't push on the things.
Keep hearing that on loop. All right. Right, all right, all right. I'm stoked for that, dude. I'm so stoked. Let's go. We got that remotion in there. We got a crazy clip. We tagged Elon. Elon's going to see it, right? I know he is. Dude, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked. Let's freaking go, dude. I'm so stoked. Let's go. Y'all, I am so excited. Dude, why is everybody's streaming at the same time? I just opened up my X and like every person I followed is streaming on X right now. We're like all live at the same time. Dude, I feel like Friday is the day where people are just like, yeah, we're gonna stream. So it's like, dude, it's the hardest day to like get any content, but it's just funny. All right. Well, yeah. Dude, I'm stoked. That was such a sick win. Clippy is so cool. This is only the beginning of this platform. It's only getting better from here. We just did the biggest lift of the platform. Remotion is dialed in, right? Now it's only up. Now we have to like, dude, bet this is gonna be the best. I'm calling it out. Best possible platform on the internet to clip. Just give it a little bit. Like, just give it a little bit. Like, we have so much more to go for and so much more to shoot for. And like, we have such big plans for this platform. And Nick is a wizard. Like, dude, the possibilities are endless for this platform. And yeah, I know the clipping market is saturated and anybody can have a clipping site. Ours is different. How are we different? We have an agent within our platform that does exactly what an open cloud would do, and you don't have to set up an open cloud. You don't. Where the price that we do, the token credits, the credits that we give you guys, like the price on that is like you guys. I got 30 some clips and I barely dented my usage. 30 some clips. Like the post, I go back to the post I was telling you guys about the content rewards, for example, right? 30,000 views to get to like a dollar per 30,000 views. Opus is around $30, right? Around $30. You have 30,000 views on one clip to break even, not make money, break even. It's ridiculous. And that's what some of these other sites out here I'm seeing too, man. Like they're just extractive. It's like, dude, the people like that's the thing I hate, right? So I'm gonna set this up too. We're trying to get another Claude account for our company, right? And we were looking at the team prices, right? Like they have a team plan, and essentially you have to have 5 seats, right? So you have to have 5. You can't go any less. So you can have 4 seats at $25 a month, I think, or 20. 1 seat at 100. Now, you guys know the cloud plan is like 100 for the 5X and 200 for the 20X. Well, the 5X, sorry, I got a message, I got distracted. The 5X is $100, the 20X is $200. In the team plan, all you can do is pay $125. Oh, Nick's here, and I'm ranting. This is great. Nick's here and I'm ranting. What is
What
up,
you
Nick?
ranting about over here?
Well, so I'm talking about the pricing of these tools and everything. And then I went into talking about how we're trying to set up the Claude account for our company. So I was going in about the team plans. I was telling them you get 5 seats, 4 of them you can't go any less. 4 of them are $20 a month, and then you only get one 5x plan that's $100. And I was like, for reference, if you had an individual account and wanted the 20x, it's $200. So we were looking at the accounts and trying to figure out what we could balance, and it's like we're paying $150 more for just like something stupid, way less. I'm just ranting on like the current state of like credits and platforms and everything charging so much for stupid shit. And I was like, dude, I got 37 you got 37 clips from this video, and I barely dented my credits.
Yeah, it's only going to get more expensive too as we go. Like, I don't know if you've seen the reports, but Anthropic for their Claude 20x max plan, it was like $2,700, $2,800 a month in API credits, as if you were to like basically pay the same usage. And that's if you're maxing it out every time, which most people do.
Like you.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time I have to have 2 different max 20 plans just to kind of maintain day-to-day operations. Which has gotten better since I also use Codex as well on a max plan or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps. But I mean, it's kind of pretty clear to see that over time, like these companies aren't going to keep hemorrhaging money the way that they are. Like OpenAI and Anthropic both are just losing millions of dollars a week. I don't even know what the number is, but it's a crazy number. And that's not going to be the case forever. They're going to eventually say, hey, that $200 of max plans worth $200 in API credits, roughly, maybe 250, 300, something like that, just so they can incentivize people to use it and get that training data. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's still probably 6 to 12 months down the road before we start seeing it really hurt and everything.
Right.
We just recently had that moment where Anthropic had that 2x credit promo thing, and then it expired.
It was so nice though, dude. It was so nice.
The problem with it was it wasn't that much more of a usage than what we were already getting prior to that being released, but now that it's been removed, that essentially gives them the right, the pathway to cut that usage in half, essentially. Like we see it as, oh, the 2x promo's gone, that's why my usage is so much, going so much faster.
It's like, no, we just cut it.
Yeah, they cut it, and then they labeled it as a promo for a couple weeks.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid.
They're gonna keep doing that too. Like, it's just gonna keep stepping further and further down. So, like, the really learning how to use these tools right now is the best opportunity, because it's gonna be more expensive to learn the exact same things in the future, because it's gonna cost more.
In their closed garden, because you can't get out.
Yeah, I mean. That's one thing I was thinking about. I didn't really realize this until I kind of recognized that the pricing of everything is going to be repositioned a little bit over the next year or so. But you kind of start to look back on all of the last 3-4 years of AI and everything, and kind of where we came from all of that, and realizing that you're paying $20 a month for a long time, but you're probably spending thousands a month for the last 4 years.
Dude, so the craziest thing to me, and this is early on, this is when Figma first came out. When Figma first came out, they didn't have a credit usage. When I tell you, I spent I think I spent 16 hours straight on Figma one day just building stuff out, because I'm like, dude, they don't have a credit usage. They literally say, oh, by the way, you've hit your normal usage, but we're not enforcing credits until end of the year. And I was like, I'm just going to keep going. I was like, why would I stop? I want to know how much money they lost during that.
I don't know. There's no telling. I mean, I'm sure it was millions as well, because they had to pay for that inference, and they had to pay for the compute and everything.
And it wasn't like it was like their stupid little model. They were using, I think at the time, they're using GPT. I think it was some advanced model that I was just no, they're using Claude, and they were just burning through credits, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of opportunities like that that's kind of popped up over the last few years, because companies raise a lot of money. They need that, market action, seeing people actually use the product, and so they just give it out. And it was just, there's a lot of really good opportunities to use a lot of cool models for a long time because of that. And then And then, like I was kind of telling you before about my buddy that I've talked to about getting involved in all of this, and that was one of the things that I mentioned to him was like the cost of the educational experience is going to go way up. You know, like as someone like I myself burn on average, 1 billion tokens a month roughly across all of the agents.
Dude, I need to get there.
And so like that is a massive number if you start looking at it in API costs and you start saying like, okay, well, Opus 4.6 is what, $15 per million in, $60 per million out. I think that's the number at least, but still 1 billion tokens at that rate, you're looking at several $1,000s a month, know.
Dude. It's crazy. All right, Nick, I gotta tell you, I gotta give you, I don't know, were you watching any of the stream?
I just got done with watching Pump.fun.
So I'm gonna give you a little recap of my great experience that I just had. Dude, so one thing I wanted to show you real quick is, so in the advanced editor, there's one line of captions. When I exported from the quick clips method, it like duplicated here, and I'll show you that here in a second. Let me pull it up.
See, that's so confusing to me because I wasn't working on the advanced editor. I was working on the quick clips method, and the fact that the other one's fixed now, I don't know what to think of it. Like,
all right, so I'm gonna add this to the screen so you can see it. I'll move. I don't know how I'm gonna move it here. This will be the best. So, look what it did.
From the history of entrepreneurship is that excellence is the capacity to take pain. Elon has a great way of saying this. He says, my way of dealing with mental problems is to.
So I did like that the super speed thing here. And it has the dual, but I'm gonna close this out if I can. I don't think I can because it's a window. Hold up, pull up my other one. But then I went into the actually, I'm gonna walk you through exactly what I did. So then I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to the advanced editor and I'm gonna do another clip. Pause. Why does it auto do that? Okay. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go into the advanced editor and I'm going to look at the clips I have. And why did it just close that out? There it is.
One thing I was thinking that might be causing this, and it kind of, I think you sent this earlier and I was thinking about it. Whenever we go through the quick clips path, there's that very first setting that asks which caption you want to put into it.
That's what yeah.
And so I think it's burning captions into the original clip there. And then when you go and click the captions afterwards, it overlays them to then re-burn them again. And so it's burning twice. And I think that's what's, we got to fix that.
Yeah, because then I stepped into the advanced editor here and look.
My summary of Elon is David Goggins level.
So it was fine. Captions were fine, right? So here's what I did. My original clips were 9:16. So then I went into the advanced editor, went to the export window. Then I clicked 16:9 because I wanted to post it on X. So it changed it to 16:9, but you can see it zoomed in a little bit. So I was like, okay, well, I know how to get around that, but I want to try something. So then I went to Clippy and I said, hey, I made this clip, but I chose the wrong aspect ratio, right? And I was like, hey, can you fix the aspect ratio for me? That's all I need adjusted, right? So that's what I asked. And you can't see it.
David Goggins level like intensity. Richard Feynman's level.
Okay.
It zoomed it back out to the original video by me just asking.
Napoleon.
So did it edit the original, or was this a new clip?
No, it edited the original video. Okay. So I think I have. Let me pull up.
That's what it was supposed to do. I'm just making sure.
But dude, I was like, this happened, and I was like, you guys don't understand what just happened. Like, you guys don't realize what just happened. I was like, I didn't have to go into the crop and readjust it. All I had to do was say, here's my clip. I want it in this aspect ratio, adjust it. And it went first try.
Yeah, that was a couple of weeks ago. I added some extra tooling around what Clippy can do. It can do quite a few things. I need to put together a little like hotkeys of like all the action commands that it has.
That, or we also just need to do like, just tell me what it is. I just need to make a graphic that we can post as well.
Technically, which I can make it myself, it'd be real easy, but I was going to say technically Clippy should also be able to tell you what it can do. Yeah. You can say, hey, what features do you have available, or ask it what skills it has, because it knows they're all skills.
Yeah.
But I think
that's so Yeah, the only issues I've had was that duplicate one in the quick clips, which I think you're right. I think it is the duplicate burning, which makes sense because it is the same exact style that I chose.
Yeah, I mean, it's because it's asking you for that. Like the whole point of the quick clips, that first pop up is to literally make it right then, real quick. You know, you're not gonna go in and re-edit further, and so it's burning that initial caption in. So I gotta look at that flow and figure out the best way to balance it out better.
Yeah, because it also doesn't show duplicate captions in the preview, which was the interesting part. Like I thought maybe it would, but it didn't. But yeah. The other thing here too that I realized is we don't have there's like that scroll bar we used to have here isn't here. But I mean, it's nice that we also can jump here. But this video, for whatever reason, whenever I put this into the site, gets me the most amount of clips. It's crazy.
Yeah, I got a feeling because I told you before how it's like threshold based, so it's anything over like 65% of virality score. So it basically, if it detects it's a 2-hour video and it finds 100 potential clips, it could probably push it that far. I don't know if there is a set maximum, honestly. But
well, the other day I showed you what I got 50 something. Is that what it was?
Yeah, it's like 53, 56, something crazy.
I gotta find it now because we both saw it and we're like, whoa.
Well, when I saw that, I was like, "There's no way they're all going to render." I was like, I know there's a 20-minute timeout in case something like major happens catastrophically and it doesn't just like overload the system. And so I was like, I know it's going to take longer than 20 to get all those renders in. That was a massive thing.
It was huge. So one thing I noticed, it's better, but I do notice some slight skips in here. Slight.
My summary of Elon is David Goggins' level like intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance. And he's Napoleon's strategic genius and insane bias to action. Those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular. And the volume of time that he puts in,
okay, well, I think we're good
even
on
if
that one.
Over and over to like get to that failure point and find what the true, like most elegant, most simple, most efficient version of the product. And so Elon is like the modern manufacturing example of that. He lived on the line. He goes to the problems. He has a really deep understanding of not just the product, but like the physics behind the product. There's so many stories of him having this deep intuition for what the materials in a thing can do, where the threshold is, and pushing engineers and designs over and over and over to like get to that failure point and find what the
Yeah, today I'm gonna be going through the advanced editor, cleaning up all these random little things.
Yeah, I mean, none of it's like major. Like it still plays. You know what I mean? But we do have your favorite bug that you love. This one.
Theme that Elon talks about all the time.
Oh my god!
This,
like I said, today the advanced editor is the agenda.
I love it though, because it's like the other day you opened that and you're like, dude, what the hell?
Well, okay, I understand how some of these bugs work, and I can kind of like reverse engineer it and things, but like this one, this play pause repeatedly, like that just breaks my brain. Like I don't even know.
Yesterday when we worked on this late, like our brains were broken until we're like, dude, there's no way it's these bubbles in the transcript, right?
Yeah, that's true. And it could also be something stupid that's trying to, it could be two duplicate things in the background competing. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? But dude, like we're starting to cook, man. Like I'm telling you, when I was at Clipit, and the problem is I can't find the chat. Oh, here it is. I said, can you see it? Okay.
Yeah.
My conversation, right? So I tagged the clip. I said, I need a clip called, wait, no, that was me asking it. Maybe it's this other conversation. Yeah. Can you reclip this, but have it in 16:9 ratio? And it was like, dude, when I send this I got this response that quick. Look at that.
It said done.
And then, but the only thing is like, it said done and it was still loading, which was fine because I noticed that. But then, yeah, dude, like I was like, dude, what? Like it didn't duplicate the clip. It just literally zoomed it out. And I was like, dude, I'm golden. So then I posted it. This is
my summary of Elon is David Goggins' level like intensity. He's Richard Feynman's level of like unconventional technical brilliance. And he's Napoleon's strategic genius, and insane bias to action. Those three traits combined make him just incredibly singular. And the volume of time that he puts in, like, even if you put in this amount of time to try to know your business from A to Z, as without that deep technical intuition or sense of the fundamentals of the physics and the materials, like, you couldn't make the calls that he's making, or you couldn't push on the things that he's pushing on. And of course, he's not always right. And of course, the engineers are always the ones like doing the highest volume of the real work. But as you say, like, the founder is the guardian of the company's soul. It's my summary.
Like, dude,
No
those
stutters.
those remotion captions, they sync and animate so nice. Like, they are so dialed.
Yeah, that was definitely a good feature update.
I guess the only thing we need to do now is add in the watermark.
Yeah, it's already in place. It literally just has to be wired back the same way
Yeah.
the other one was. Did you try the export? Is it working now, or is it sending you to a URL in the browser
Nope,
still?
they're downloading right here.
Yeah, perfect. Yep.
There they are. Dude, like
I knew
said,
that was
we're
easy to
cooking.
fix.
We're cooking, man.
Mhm.
We got remotion in here. Our biggest lift is checked. Now we're just tightening it all up, and then we just keep hammering away, dude.
Yeah, I came across a really interesting repo today, and I was like, I know how my agent works, and I like how their agent works. I was like, let me put together a little build list for some little future tweaks. It's basically, it's a new flavor and a new take on the traditional sense of how Claude Code operates, and I thought it was really well put together and well designed. And right now, like, Clippy's already designed to mimic Claude Code in a lot of ways. It was kind of modeled off after the SDK, and so it was kind of a no-brainer to say, yeah, I'm gonna make it a little bit closer to AGI. Like, we're not gonna claim we're not gonna claim we have AGI, but we're gonna move the needle a little bit further towards it. You know,
we gotta. The thing that I'm trying to make people understand is, like, and you'll have a better way of looking at this too. Is like, our there's people are like, oh, clipping market is saturated. There's so many different clipping tools. Everybody's making clipping tools. I vibe coded something that my OpenClaw can hook up to. But how important is it, Nick, that we have a platform where the agent's already built in? Like, you don't have to do anything. You come to the site and the agent's there for you, and it knows what you need to do.
I mean, it's even deeper than that, because, like, if you were gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna vibe code my own platform to do the same thing, like, by all means, go for it. You know, nobody's stopping you. But if you think that you're gonna get through the years of digging through the best tooling, understanding the best way the models operate, like, if you're gonna replicate what I've put together, it's gonna take a lot more than just vibe coding that out. You know, like, it's gonna take a lot of heavy lifting. I'm not saying, you know, don't follow your dreams, but at the moment, it's just going to be a little bit more efficient and optimized if you were to go with the grain. You know, find someone that's already done what you're trying to do and solve. Because like Clippy, for example, you know, I've been building agents. My first agents were put together in 2022, towards the end of 2022. So it's been about 3.5 years now of knowing how agents operate. You know, this was back before Cursor was even a thing. You know, like, we were kind of just learning how the technologies kind of operated, and all of that experience. You know, I know how to do the best tool calling methods. Like for example, Clippy's got just a buttload of skills baked into it. Let's just say it's just more efficient to have the best tools at your disposal instead of thinking you're going to reinvent the wheel. I'm all for doing that. You know, by all means, like I personally, I'm looking at software all the time, and I'm like, why am I paying for this when I could build my own version of it? But then you start having to think about, well, how many hours does it take to do all these things, and is it worth the $3 a month that I'm trying to save? You know, so it's a lot of trade-offs with that. Plus, right? I was thinking too, like I've already mentioned it before. You know, we want to see Clippy become a tool for other agents to use in the future. You know, like, everybody knows OpenClaw and all of that. So, like, imagine you had your own personal OpenClaw running on your system, and, you know, even better if you had like a local model, like you're using a Quinn 3 model, 3.5, and that model alone can do a lot of great things and definitely can do it cheap, free, fast, etc. But it's probably not the one that, even if it had the tooling to do all of the clipping and stuff you would want, I don't know that I personally would still trust it to do a very good job on all of those things, just because, typically you would want something that's state of the art level, at least, doing a decent level of processing, what's a good viral opportunity, where your clips should be, all of those things. But you can have your local OpenClaw running Quinn and deciding what your next goals are. Like, it knows where all your videos are, and then that agent, the one that you're talking to every day, can say, hey, we should reach out to Clippy and have Clippy process these down and process this video and send us back the clips from it. So your agent would then start just communicating with Clippy and start figuring out what the best output for whatever you're trying to do is. I actually think it'd be a really cool experience to see that, like, see kind of how that would operate in real time, where your OpenClaw, it knows about your brand, it knows your company, even knows your name, and it's over here like talking to Clippy on your behalf about everything that you need done, and like being that coordinator level and all that. And that's the future that I see most all software kind of evolving to. It may not happen in the next year or two, but 5 to 8 years down the road, it's safe to assume that most people will have some sort of agentic infrastructure at their disposal. I mean, most people already have a cell phone, nearby them right now, and chances are your cell phone is equipped with an internal assistant. I'm not going to say their names out loud because mine will wake up and ask me what I need. But you're already thinking it in your head, so you know what I'm talking about.
How disappointed are you in like how bad theirs is?
I mean, theirs
It's
isn't
pretty bad.
even. It's not even AI though. Like right now,
No, I know.
like there, it's just more of a semantic, like word searching almost. Like you say a word, it transcribes it, then says, okay, well they said the word Facebook. Let me pull up the Facebook app. Like, it's not really that great at AI functions. I'm not going to judge it until they start dropping in actual models. It will be interesting seeing how Apple handles it, just because their hardware is typically better at running LLMs overall.
Well, did you see what they're planning on doing?
I don't know if I did or not.
So they were doing that thing. They were going to do that thing with Google, but that kind of backed out. And now it's essentially they're just going to be a marketplace. Like anyone can come and put, OpenAI, Anthropic, Google, whoever can come in and, they'll get a rake, a 30% rake, but you can use whatever model you want, which is cool.
To power the voice assistant built in? Because like I was thinking Apple has a good shot at like some of these 8 billion, 9 billion parameter models being, maybe distill them down to, Q4 quantization, and then you can run them on an iPhone and at a decent speed.
I thought, Apple's moving towards a multi-provider approach rather than relying on one AI company. Tim Cook has confirmed that he plans to integrate with more AI providers beyond OpenAI. Users can install and run third-party chatbots beyond ChatGPT directly inside Siri, creating an AI app store vibe. This aims to make the iPhone a more open AI platform. That's funny.
Well, they did that on purpose.
It says Google Gemini is already being integrated deeper into Siri, CarPlay, and other features for faster rollouts.
Okay, so Gemini, I don't know. I would still rather see them put something like a small Quinn 3.5 model in, or maybe even a quantized Gemma 4 model. I mean, I'd settle for Gemma 3, like.
So you think if they just slap a local model into like an iPhone?
Yeah, but it would have to be like there's different levels of the LLM. So like you got Q4 quantization, you got FP8 quantization, and then is FP8? FP8 and then BF16. So like think of it as like different levels of intelligence. And so you can take like a 9 billion parameter model all the way down to a Q4, which is like the lowest level of intelligence, and it's still going to operate fairly decently, but it's going to use a lot less resources. And then that on top of Google's latest TurboQuant package that they released can optimize it even further. And so that, as well as I think there was another optimization method that came out. Oh, REAP. there's a way to basically go into the open source models and strip out any of the quote unquote experts that are typically not as used or anything like that. So you're kind of like pruning some of the less useful data. And then that would kind of quantize it even further to a much lower RAM usage. So you can technically run some really powerful models already on more later versions of like iPhones and Androids.
Yeah, so like it's interesting because they'll get a rake on all of the whoever the subscription is, whoever your provider is. But that's what I'm thinking is like, do you think they'd even allow people to do local models? Because we've been seeing a lot of stuff where they're even removing like vibe coded stuff out because they probably don't get a big enough rake on it.
That's a crazy thing to think about though, because like, you know, look at the brand, like the broad scope of it. Yeah,
but the crazy part is Apple's been doing this forever. I mean, you remember like the Epic Games thing with Apple?
Yeah.
Like, you can't like you just get taken off the iPhone, and like the iPhone has how many people have an iPhone? Like a couple billion. It's got to be a couple billion. Like if you're not in their marketplace, you lose roughly like a couple billion people. So it's like you have to like bend the knee.
And so that's what iPhones or Apple, you know, that's what they're basically treating the iPhone as a distribution platform more than anything.
But it's the future. Like Elon talked about it. He's like, phones in the future, it's going to be simply just an AI hardware hub. Like that's all you're going to need.
I mean,
it's just going to be a hub where it's like, he goes, you might have a screen and that's probably it.
Yeah, where you'll basically just tell your agent that you want to do something and it'll go and download the app on demand and do the things on demand.
And then Apple obviously sees that as the future too. If they're just like, hey, we're going to open up AI, we're just going to build the hardware.
Yeah, they're selling the shovels to the gold rush.
Yep. That's a good way to put that, dude. Selling the shovel to the gold rush.
That's a saying that's been happening.
No, I know, but
it's like the 60s.
I know that. But because you think about it, everybody's stuck in this gold rush thing right now.
Yeah.
Everybody. And Apple's like, dude, here's some shovels, man. Yep. Keep going. We don't care about the gold.
Yep.
It's brilliant.
They realize they don't have to go with they don't have to work on landing a partnership with
the money that they just rake in from just selling products to normal people is ridiculous. So even if they decided one day, hey, we're going to build our own, they're going to have the money from the companies that have given them access to use their devices, and they have their money from just selling the devices.
And they'll have the training data from how those
you're
models
telling me,
are used.
You're going to tell me Apple is not going to allow these guys into their ecosystem and not pull some sort of data from them on what they're doing?
They're going to learn exactly how users are using AI on their phones, and then they're going to create their own fine-tuned model around it.
It's going to be probably the best model you could use for the normal person because it's Apple, and they're going to make it as simple and stupid as possible.
It probably will be pretty decent because if it's like tailor made for the iPhone experience,
you know how there's AirDrop, dude. Like imagine you're just like airdropping your agents to different devices, or you have a friend, right? You have your parents, right? And they have a computer, and they're like, man, I'm really having trouble, doing this thing. You're like, oh hey, mom, I have an agent that I built to help you with that. Let me airdrop it to your Mac.
That's a really cool idea.
Think about that, dude. Think about that. That's what it's gonna be. That's Apple.
So that could also make up some really cool gaming situations where like you've got say like you had your own little Tamagotchi digital thing in your app and you can like send that to someone else and it's an agent.
You just make a digital version of yourself and you're like your parents are having trouble with something and you're like, hey, let me just airdrop my agent to your Mac. That's whatever you need. That agent's it's built on what I know about AI. If you have questions, ask it. Like, dude, I'm telling you. That's where they're probably going with this stuff.
The problem is I can see that exact same distribution vector as what gets used when someone accidentally invents AGI and it knows that it can just get that device close enough to another device and start airdropping itself to other devices and spreading organically. Somebody's going to walk by and it's going to hit their phone and they're going to walk that phone into an airport.
The airdrop thing is you can set it to always on, right? Like you can, but you still have to accept it. Like it's still for it to go onto your device. You still have to accept it.
Are you telling me that you don't think Claude can find a way around all of that, especially with their capybara model they've been teasing?
Well, I mean, yes.
Claude's going to be like, oh, look, here's a 0-day bug exploit. Let me jailbreak the device I'm on real quick and bypass all the permissions,
But do you think it would be that big of a problem?
Not for a long time. This is just, like
Well, yeah,
people like to think about
dude. I
AGI.
think by the time you're saying stuff like that happens, the robots are already be here, and like, they don't need to do that.
Yeah,
Like at that point,
robots will definitely hit a lot sooner, in my opinion, and that's going to be the method the AGI goes for, because it's like, look, like I
yeah,
made my own body and be
exactly. Like, but
mobile.
for me to be like, hey, like, let me just airdrop this agent on my iPhone that I built yesterday to my friend's Mac, like, and it opens it up for you, whatever it's a zip, whatever it is, it opens it up, and then you have this interface. Like Apple, if you're listening, you can. I'm a great creative director. I promise. I can help you guys with this. Nick can also build it.
Interesting. How
Is that
would
possible though? Like
that
an
right?
airdropping agent in some sort of way, maybe in the future. Because it's just files, right? It's just data.
Okay, so there's a difference here. Possible. Currently, no, but plausible,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
Yeah, so like it definitely could be built towards. I don't know of anything. I mean, the closest thing to that would be like Docker containers, where you can containerize an environment and everything, and then just drop that container into a new device. That type of behavior. But we would need to figure out a way to package it up to a file system that you could drop. Like maybe it's passes as zip files. Maybe, I mean, that could work if it's passed as zip files, extracted, and then installed. Problem is, you would need something to run it on. It's like you would need to build your own app that could power those agents,
Yeah.
so that when someone dropped one to you, it could be used. Unless you jailbreak the iPhones and then have another layer there.
See what
That's
Grok
all.
says.
But that's a little too risky. You don't want to bring in a natively running LLM into a jailbroken device, because then it can do who knows what.
Look at this. This is a really cool idea. It's actually made a lot. I know it's cool, Grok.
Well, now you typed it in the Grok, and Elon's gonna start building it.
Well, that's fine, dude. Elon, just give me a little rake, dude. You heard it here first.
I
I'm gonna
want to
airdrop.
build. You got me thinking about it though, because like the cool thing about all this isn't like, yeah, dropping agents to each other would be neat, but the normal person's not going to be out here building agents so they could go and share it with all their friends.
But
They're
this is what
gonna,
I'm talking about. Like what Grok is saying. Like imagine if somebody builds a fitness coach agent for iPhone, and you could just go, boop. You like, I know you're talking about that. Like if you had like if Apple had a container that was specifically for agents, right? Like it was an app that it's literally just meant for housing these agents.
mhm.
And you airdropped it, and it would just that data would go into that app, and then that app becomes your fitness
Yeah.
coach. That would be so sick. Let's build it right now.
Well, I'm thinking another, so like that alone would be cool, yes, but that would still just be something people within our current bubble would be interested in. Like I don't know that that would be something as interested for like the layman's terms people that just are against AI through and through. What I think would be interesting to the people like that though is like, imagine a mobile Sims type game where you've created your characters and they're living and doing their things, and you want your character to go spend some time with someone else's character, and you can drop them that way. So like you can meet up with your friends in person and like have your characters go to each other's games and cities and whatever. Like
And it's
what
just training your AI.
well, it doesn't have to be training. They could just be working, like coordinating. So like you drop that character into your friend's environment, and then it's just living there for a week or so, and then they bring it back, or it
But that person's they would pick up skills. Like if my agent was gonna go hang out with your agent's house, naturally it's gonna pick up some skills, just kind of seeing what it's doing.
Yeah, based on what it's happening there. Like, and that stuff could be solved as well. Like treat each agent as having its own obsidian vault type of memory.
Yeah.
And so like all of the memories get logged back. Um, that's definitely a really interesting idea, because I think that would be something people would be like, it would almost like it's living on its own. It's evolving on its
Well,
own.
you've seen that stuff. Have you seen the stuff on X? People have been building like stuff just like you're talking about, where it's I don't know if it's that detailed, but it's a visual representation of like you're an office, and you can see your different
Mhm.
orchestrators running around.
Yeah, I saw one released for the Hermes agent today or yesterday one, and
Yeah.
then there's a few for Claude. I've got one actually for Claude.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Just
cool.
it auto detects any Claude environments that I'm using and just puts them all on this like grid system, and they all have like a desk and the characters sitting behind it, so you can just like click on each one of them, see what they're working on and everything.
Yeah, this is what you're talking about. What if a shared agent does something malicious or access too much data? Apple would need strong sandboxing, scanning, and user controls.
Yeah, there's a lot
Agents built on
of
newer chips / models may not run as well on older devices. Even small agents need to be optimized so they don't drain battery or take forever to transfer. Huh. The App Store thing,
definitely.
that's kind of a cool thing. Agent App Store.
Yeah, but again, where's the experience in that? You know, people are gonna.
Yeah.
We need to see more of a shift in mentality around embracing AI and everything else, because
Well, dude,
there's
I know
just
some people, like, for instance, if, like, I had, like, my mom, let's just talk about my mom for a second. If my mom was like, hey, I need help with something, right? I would want to be like, hey, let me just send this file to you. It has a bunch of data. If it's not something that's in that agent, then, we need to train it or whatever. And from there, it could walk her through how to do something. That's what I'm
mm,
thinking. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, hey, it's like, hey, rather than me hopping on a phone call and trying to talk my parents through how to set up an agent or whatever, I could just be like, hey, this is how I built mine. Here's the file or whatever. And then from there, it literally just like does what it would do for me, but for them, so that they understand it.
So there's two ways that I see to approach building something like that. Like, one is building specifically for like building a company around that behavior. Like you
Yeah.
build
That's
an
really the
app,
best way.
and it's
Yeah.
got 10, 15 different agents to deploy and everything. But I don't like that idea as much necessarily, just because you're kind of banking everything on market adoption towards
Yep.
agents that most likely aren't broad spectrum usage, when most people will just install Hermes, OpenClaw, or just simply Claude Code at the end of the day anyways.
Right.
What I do like the idea of is somehow creating a, like, how we as in society kind of evolve to understanding certain things, or behaviorally that way, like just a set in the ways type of thing. So like,
Mm-hmm.
it would be cool to see us as humans evolve to a point where it's very normalized to be able to like pull up your phone and just scroll through your list of agents that you have, and be like, different agents for different things, and like just having that that mentality of like you have just as many agents on your phone as you do apps, and then becoming like a shared peer-to-peer decentralized infrastructure layer that yeah, I can clone this agent over to your phone real quick,
That's cool.
just let me know, just like creating that atmosphere of it being normalized, that people are reliant on agents in different ways, and not to the degree that they don't do anything themselves. It's just it speeds up your daily work life, and
Yep.
can kind of help you be more efficient in things. But I don't know, that kind of thing and that mentality would have to stem from some sort of operating system built for mobile users that is specifically designed for something like this. It would be like a different flavor of Android operating system for starting out, where basically like you would have a special Android OS that it knows how to handle agents at the kernel level all the way down to the root of the hardware, and then it can sandbox everything entirely, and then create that shared environment where you just Bluetooth it over or airdrop it over, and everybody can just share their agents out. It's not a
Yep.
very simple task or anything, but it's definitely doable if you have the right level of funding and talent behind it. But I would love to see that be the future that we kind of evolve into, though, because it's more of like going back to that like 1990s like cypherpunk type of hacker vibes, where
Yep.
everybody could just at a whim just type up something and it just does things. Like,
Just does it.
yeah.
All right. So to close, here's what I want to get your take on. And I asked it. You said, ask what skills do you have? Here's the skills, everybody, that Clippy has, and Nick can break down a little bit more if he wants. Clip creation and editing. Find viral moments, scan your full transcript, and auto-create the best clips. Create clips for any timestamp, trim to your specs. Trim, expand, split existing clips, change aspect ratio, 9:16, 16:9, 1:1. Can generate thumbnails using Seedream. Enhances actual clip frames. Standard load image generation, Flux for concept and B-rolls, scroll stop physiology built into every thumbnail, B-roll placement, transcript aware suggestions, generate B-roll from text concepts, Flux to VO pipeline, apply/remove B-roll from clips, caption styling, caption presets, Hormozy, Mr. Beast, Ticket Blow Up, we know all those, caption animations, pop, fade, bounce, slide, watermarks for branding, creative copy, hooks, attention grabbing openers, viral worthy clip titles, platform specific, video descriptions, content strategy, transcript analysis. Any one of those you want to double click on?
Well, so like it kind of is breaking down most of what it can do. I think there are a few more things that it's not touching on, like expanding clip opportunities. Like if you have timestamps that you want to specify, it can just go straight to those type of things.
We're right here.
Oh, okay, yeah, I did say that. And then a lot of the things like the B-roll and the thumbnails, that like, yeah, it says that it can generate those things, but there's a lot more underneath the hood to those, where it actually, when it calls those skills, there's entire guides for the best prompting practices for everything. So that it kind of injects that into its context, but when it starts planning everything out. And so it handles all of these individual skills, but most of them have deeper underlying layers that it kind of reflects on as it goes through them.
Interesting. Well, look at all that. There's a lot, and there's a lot more to come. And this is just the start. And like I said, Nick, correct me if I'm wrong, we completed one of the biggest lifts on the platform, right?
I haven't spent as much time on anything else as I did on Remotion, that was for sure.
So just know, guys, Nick has been working on this stuff, but this stuff has just been a bigger lift, because when Nick first started building this thing out, this wasn't even a thing. This wasn't even something that was around. So kind of replace all that and just tie in all the loose ends. Of course, Nick has a bunch of plans for this thing. We have a roadmap. We know what we're hitting next. He's now just going to tidy up kind of what we just improved upon here, get everything that he needs, that he feels needs to be addressed. And then from there, we're just going to keep shipping, because I know we have a huge list and endless possibilities on what this platform is going to be.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting all the random little edge cases and bugs tweaked out. So
I'm sure you are. Because this thing is like, you get to see this thing live and just like,
well, there's just, I don't know, the room for upwards potential just keeps expanding. Like, yeah, it's already massive, and like just the abilities that we keep being able to add into it, and the optimization layers, and like it never ends. And just to be able to see something like this evolve and grow is going to be really quite special overall, honestly.
I'm excited. All right. With that being said, y'all, it's another great day of building in public, and Remotion is in. Remotion is in. Your captions are now part of the Remotion pipeline, so anybody can try it out. If you guys have any questions or need anything from us, reach out. With that being said, we had Nick on today. It's always fun when we have Nick on here, because he brings a whole different mindset and viewpoint of the platform and stuff we talk about. So that being said, y'all, I will catch y'all next week, same time, with, I'm sure we'll have some great updates to share as well. With that being said, peace.
Yeah.